Hi, my name is Everett, and today we're going to be covering the 1910-1890 air seeder, starting off with monitor setup.
Okay, we'll start off by setting up the air seeder. So we'll go main menu, air cart, and I always start with meter setup, button G, and we'll select our front tank, our product that we're using, and then our type of product. Below that, we'll select a rate, and then to the right of that is VR step, so variable rate step. So when we're going through the field, when you want to increase or decrease your rate, it will increase or decrease at 1 pound increments. Below this, we have our color of roller. In this particular case, we have a black roller, and then we've got our meter displacement value. Next, we'll select our rear tank. In this particular case, we have soybeans selected. Once again, we'll choose a rate and then a variable rate step as well with our roller. I'll go ahead and skip Cal for right now. We'll come back to that. We can use our meter displacement value. You can select previous, standard, or custom current. I always do custom current and calibrate each time I select a product. So next we'll go to variable rate, and you can turn on up to 6 different rates, and then at the bottom we have our prescriptions. So if you're writing prescriptions and seeding and fertilizing using a prescription, we would want to have those boxes turned on. So we have our rate, 0 rate in the front tank, 47 in the rear. So then on your main run screen, you can just switch your rate on the fly. So we'll go back into our meter setup. Once you have that in there, you'll be good to go. We'll go ahead and jump down into the air cart setup with the up arrow. And if you look at the front of your tank, you will see a number sticker on there. This particular cart said 270 bushel. Remote switch, it's a newer cart, so we're using a height sensor. If you're using an older 1900, 1910 cart, you might have an implement switch, which typically has a pull chain attached to it. And then just select if you have variable rate or if it's a tow between cart. Section EQ, we can select that and customize our section command. In this particular case, I'm going to leave that unchecked. Next, we'll select our tool. And here we're using a 1890, a 40-foot model on 10-inch spacing. And we'll go ahead and hit next. And then it gives us our primaries. So we go across, we have 6 primaries, or towers as some people call them. And we have 8 rows on each tower. Below this, if we were going to run front and rear tank, we would want to have our front tank check marked and our rear tank check marked to be feeding. I'll go ahead and accept that. And then to the right of that is sensor. So we've got our tire speed sensor, and a couple different ways. You can go ahead and hit the cal button and mark a 400-foot course and calibrate your wheel speed. That would be the most accurate. And when you do that, you want your air cart half full of product. Or you can look in your operator's manual and it will give you a calibration number for the circumference of your tire. So just look in there and it'll show your tire size, and it'll give you this inches per revolution value, and you can put that in there. Next, you'll have your height sensor. So at the beginning of the season, I recommend that you calibrate your height sensor. And all you do to calibrate your height sensor, select the up arrow. It tells you to fully raise your tool, so raise it all the way up, hit accept, and then next you would hit the down button. It tells you to fully lower it. You hit lower and put it all the way in the ground, hit accept, and you have calibrated your tool. What I would recommend doing is going back on the tool and adjusting the hand valve. So click your SCV1 into continuous down and go back and adjust that hand valve so that your ranks go all the way down. It might even lift the tires of the tool up, and that'll give you your full range of motion. Once that's done, climb back up in the cab and hit accept. I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel in this video just because I'm setting on rock right now and I don't want to put it on the rock. When you do that, it'll be calibrated. So we have set up our 1910 air cart for seating. We'll come back to our main run page, and our fan right here, fan icon, if you press that, then you can give it your target RPM that you want. So once again, this is in your manual and it goes off of total pounds of product applied. So if you're putting on multiple products or large amounts of product, you will need more airflow. If you're putting on heavier products, more dense products, you'll need more airflow. You just need enough air to keep the product moving through the tubes. You don't want so much that the seed or fertilizer is flying out of the seed boot and bouncing when it hits the ground. So obviously not enough air, you will plug. Too much air, you'll be blowing seed or fertilizer all over. So go ahead and put in your desired airflow and hit accept. And when you turn your fan on, your reading, RPM reading, will read right here. And there will be two lights, orange lights, on the front of the cart. If you're above your target, the top light will be on. If you're below, your bottom light will be on. Then just adjust your SCV setting until you get the desired RPM. Both lights will come on and you'll have your fan speed set. I do recommend in the mornings, oil will be cool, so your fan speed will change on the monitor. As the day goes on and the oil heats up, you might have to make some small adjustments to that SCV setting. We've got some user-defined boxes here as far as what the operator wants to look at: acres per hour, speed, total acres. So you can customize that to your liking as an operator. We've got our section command bars right here. For top row is your front tank, or front tank, yes. Your bottom row is your second tank, and then left to right. Above this is your tank fill indicators, and you can just use the minus and plus is where you increase or decrease your rate. So that VR step that I spoke about earlier, if I want to go ahead and change my rate, you can see it's increasing it by 1 pound increments or decreasing it. So this is how you can change your rate as well. We have our tank meter clutches right here. So we can go ahead and turn those tank clutches on and off. Down below we have our master clutch for the cart. We, like I said, have set, if you hit F and hold the air cart, it brings up your section command, and then you can check and make sure that your actuators are working back on the cart, and I'll show you that here a little later. So you can go through and check them before you head to the field. Once you have your cart set up, jump into your blockage monitor. So this shows our blockage on the tool. We'll jump into button G, and you have a row fail rate. So however many seeds that's going through the tubes. So if we're going to be doing wheat, you know, typically we're going to be up there 10 seeds per second or better, wheat and fertilizer. If you're doing smaller, you know, less rates, obviously you would adjust that. So go ahead and set that, and then next, down at the bottom, you can select either the wizard or the seed with the up arrow. If you're using both ranks, you can select your blockage pattern. So every row on, every row off, you can select whether you're using front or rear rank. So we'll select every row on, and then it shows your sensors on every tower or primary. If you have a sensor go bad, you can go in there and turn that sensor off until you can replace it, and that'll keep it from alarming for you. So if we hit the wizard hat, this will give us the ability to set up our blockage. So 1890 with dual row spacing, we don't have that, and we don't have a 2510 strip till, so those are both no. We have a single chute, so one set of tubes running underneath the cart. So you will select bottom chute, and then however many tubes or air runs you have. And then blockage typically will be all run. I'll walk through that here a little bit later, but if you have all run, you have a blockage sensor on every seed tube. Primary only has the blockage on just the tower and not each individual row. So that's the difference there. Then we'll just hit next. And then we'll set up our blockage. So back on the tool, we're going to have individual blockage modules that have serial numbers. You need to write those down on a piece of paper or take a picture of them, and then as well know how many rows are on each tower, and you'll input these in here. Once you have those in, hit accept, and you have now completed your setup. You're ready to go drill. So with that, we've got a home page set up with our air cart, as well as a home page with our blockage on it as well. So that is setting up the air cart 1910 and 1890 blockage. I hope the videos that we provided you today was some help to you. If you have any more questions, please contact your local Landmark dealer.